No sanctuary today on the world. I'm Marco Werman. Some U.S. cities offer sanctuary to undocumented immigrants, but this woman's son was killed by an undocumented immigrant, and she thinks Trump is right to crack down.
We don't have anybody fighting for us, but a lot of people fight for illegals and find all kinds of excuses.
We'll hear from both sides, also how Yemeni civilians feel after being caught in the crossfire of a U.S. raid.
All of the people that I spoke to, both men and women, said they weren't interested in compensation. They want revenge.
Plus, a man who collects passports, including one that features animation.
If you take the passport book in your hand and flip to all pages, then you see actually, I think it's a reindeer running.
That's all ahead today on The World. I'm Marco Werman. This is The World. Thanks for being with us today. Sanctuary cities. We've been hearing a lot about them lately, and as Trump's immigration policies start to take hold, there's a new map of the U.S. that's starting to emerge, a map where some places are safer than others for undocumented immigrants, places like sanctuary cities. So here's where I want to bring in The World's Rupa Shenoy and Monica Campbell. Welcome to you both.
Hey, Marco.
Hi, Marco.
Now, you both cover issues that relate to immigration for The World, and you've been speaking with a lot of people lately about sanctuary cities. So let me get out of the way for the next few minutes, and you tell us what you found out, starting with you, Rupa.
Thanks, Marco. Okay, let's start out with the most basic question. What is a sanctuary city? Because I was talking to Sarah Saldana, the former head of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, and she was complaining that it's just a term that's thrown around a lot.
It means so many different things to many people that it becomes meaningless.
That's right. And this is Monica, by the way. The definition of sanctuary really varies. For some, it's a vague label. For others, it's really meaningful. I mean, the term sanctuary, it's rooted in the 80s when churches in the U.S. sheltered Central Americans fleeing civil war there. But today, it means something different. It means more like cities or counties that are limiting their cooperation with ICE, with immigration. And right now, there's about 600 sanctuary counties in 29 states. So this is not a coastal thing. You have cities like Chicago and New York and San Francisco, of course, but you also have sanctuary counties in places like Wyoming, North Dakota, and Colorado.
Yeah, and since sanctuary is kind of not working with the federal government, it might be important to look at the ways the federal government would prefer cities and counties to work with them. Saldana went through the two major ways ICE would prefer cities and counties to cooperate. The first way is through detainers.
Right. So detainers are used by ICE to request that the police hold an undocumented immigrant in custody.
So when police anywhere arrest someone, they book them, they run their fingerprints, and this request from ICE will come up. And that's the point where the local authority can either report the person and hold them for ICE or not.
And hold them for 48 hours longer than they would have been held originally,
giving ICE time to get there. Saldana says this is a really important way ICE would like cities to cooperate because she says realistically it's going to take years to hire the 10,000 additional ICE officers Trump wants. So Saldana says if the administration is going to meet its targets, it probably has to happen through local police. But with detainers, there have been allegations of abuse by local police and holding people for way longer than 48 hours. And Saldana says the Obama administration actually cut down on its use of detainers.
But there's another way the government could go on this, and that's to train local police and actually deputize them to be ICE agents themselves.
Saldana says about 37 police departments were cooperating with ICE under Obama. And she says most of them were led by elected officials who ran on platforms to crack down on illegal immigration. And I know some of these cities and counties own detention facilities. So I asked Saldana, is this also a business decision? Is it a conflict of interest if they are holding people and maybe getting compensated for it?
They can be compensated for certain expenses. They're not paid, but I've heard many counties complain that they need compensation and reimbursement of expenses to a much greater extent than we do currently.
So there are reasons for local sheriffs to work with ICE, but others don't. They don't see the sense in it. And there are a few reasons for that. Cops say it hurts community policing, and this is really key. There's the question of resources. Can cops act on every undocumented person they come across in places with a lot of immigrants?